So on this list somewhere are our friendships. Maybe it's towards the top of the list. Now over here, do you invest any of your free time, your extra money into those friendships? If you do, they match. You're living in alignment. You're living in your truth. If not, there's need for adjustment one way or the other. I say this because I always look at each Sunday's lesson not as something I get to teach, but something I get to learn in a more profound way. That in my life, in the last couple of weeks, I've been making adjustments in my own world because I found that my list didn't match. I got so busy with these things, whatever these things were, that they required my extra time and my extra money and my attention and my focus. And the things that I really valued, I just kind of let slide a little bit. And as I did, and I started getting into a personal butt-kicking contest, and it took my friends to pull me out of it. Say, hey, buddy, chill out a second. What's really so worked up over here, and what's really so important over there, and what do you really value, and where are your efforts really being directed? Wow. Maybe it's time to have these lists match up a little bit better in my life. And it's beginning to make a more and more profound impact in my life on a daily basis. And I would love to share that experience with you. They say that if you want a friend, and we all want friends, and many of us through Mary's meditation wanted a better friendship or a deeper friendship or more friendships. The easiest thing on the planet and the only way. I don't use the word only very often because I always feel there's about 100 different ways to win a race. But the only way to have a friend is to be one. No loopholes, no shortcuts. That's it. I want everybody in this room, myself included, to have better friendships, deeper friendships. Like the movie Friends, the TV show Friends that was so popular for decades, were these people who just loved each other, who just loved hanging out. They spent their extra time together. They spent their extra money having a cup of coffee or whatever it was they were doing in that episode. And we all tuned in and we all watched and we all went, wow, I remember when I had friendships like that. And maybe you want them again. Maybe you want them more. If you do, I would encourage you this week to look at these two lists and to change whichever list you need to change so that you live it in your own truth. Understand the perspective that the entire world is pulling for your success. The entire world loves you by default. That every person in this room is a potential best friend if you want them to be. And all it takes is a little investment from you of time, of energy, of reaching out, of making time. Seconds my hand. Let's go for a bike ride. You really need to make it over to that pool. Been thinking about it. There's the difference though, thinking about it versus doing it. I make it kind of easy for y'all to come to my house. Send you invitations, email you, call you, Facebook you. Come on over to the house, let's hang out. Every Sunday, every Friday. And sometimes throughout the week. I'd love to come to your house. Or just go hang out somewhere, have a cup of coffee. Talk about stuff that is all of this and is none of this. It's just what's going on in your world. It's just, can I be a better friend? Will you allow me to be a better friend in your life? Will you allow each other to be better friends? And even the folks outside of this room, your friends, your other friends, your family, extended family, maybe somebody that you lost touch with, maybe a neighbor that you just, hi, is the extent of your friendship. But just through a 10-minute conversation, hey, what's going on? All of a sudden, you know your friend, you know your neighbor a little better. We look at things like this big storm that's headed to the, it's been going all up and down the East Coast. All the folks who thought they were self-sufficient, who thought they didn't need friends, who thought they didn't need to know their neighbors. You can bet they're getting to know them. This is the 10-year anniversary of 9/11, and that was the probably single most time, I lived in Los Angeles at the time, that I got to know my neighbors. Is when that happened, and we all walked out into the